Very good morning to all the participants from India and abroad. Soviet Institute of Engineering and Technology Meerut, deemed to be university, extend greetings to all the participants from India and abroad who are attending today the national webinar series on doubling farmers' income by 2022, Atmanirbhar Bharat in agriculture. Today is 4th March 2021. This webinar is on the topic empowering farmers through extension and knowledge dissemination, the role of mass media. On behalf of the Honorable Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor, the faculty members of the university, and on my behalf, welcome our today's guest speaker, Professor Dr. Sir Hari Om Srivastava. He is an architect of community radio in India, former Additional Director General, All India Radio and Doordarshan, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Government of India and New Delhi, and President and CEO, World Development Foundation, Delhi. Let us now turn to the address by the architect of community radio in India, Professor Dr. Sir Hari Om Srivastava, on the topic empowering farmers through extension and knowledge dissemination, role of mass media. Let me invite Dr. Hari Om Srivastava to address the participants. Before that, let me introduce Dr. Hari Om Srivastava. Professor Dr. Hari Om Srivastava, he was from Indian Broadcasting Service. He was a former Additional Director General, Additional Secretary to Government of India, both in All India Radio and Doordarshan, and currently he is the President and CEO of World Development Foundation. Dr. Srivastava provided turnkey solutions for the use of ICT and mass media for removing poverty in India, Asia, and Africa. Dr. Srivastava worked for expansion of broadcast network in the country for past 50 years in various capacities. He was involved in policy formulation and implementation of government and private broadcasting in India, both commercial, Community Radio Act. He has formulated rules, regulations, act, and the technology for community radio station in India. As head of All India Radio Resources, he provided services in installing 40 numbers of educational high-power FM transmitters in the country for IGNOR, Gyan Vani channel, a number of commercial stations and community radio stations, and agriculture channel of Ministry of Agriculture and Government of India. Dr. Srivastava has been responsible for expansion of radio and TV, digital, satellite, mobile, handheld, etc. He established BECAL, a government company, All India Radio Resources, IT division of All India Radio and Doordarshan, Agriculture Knowledge Dissemination System in the state of Bihar and for the government of Ethiopia. Dr. Srivastava has received several national and 7 international awards and has written 6 books and about 150 research papers in the national and international journals. He worked as Commonwealth and ITU expert in Malaysia. He is now currently adjunct professor in YMCA University of Science and Technology, Faridabad, consultant to Gerson Lerman Group, a New York-based world's leading B2B platform connecting professionals with expertise, consultant to Visa Q, an expert network service based in Japan, and honorary director of several colleges. We welcome Professor Srivastava to address the national webinar series. Over to Dr. Srivastava.
Thank you, Professor Moni. A wonderful job is being done by you. And definitely not only the Indian community, but the world community will be able to get benefit out of these series that we are doing it. It is a wonderful initiative and needs all applause for it. Thank you very much. And I will be using some presentation. So how a community radio, what it is.
Let us listen to Dr. H.O. Srivastava, the architect and father of technology, about the birth of community radio in India directly.
It was August of 2002, and I had gone to the residence of Madam Sushma Swaraj, the then Minister of Information and Broadcasting. The purpose was to brief her about some parliament question. After discussions were over, she just asked me, Dr. Shrivastava, there are so many community radio stations in US and other countries which broadcast regular programs such as traffic condition and weather. Why can't we have these in India? When I ask to your top people in Prasar Bharati, they say it is not feasible in India. My answer was, Madam, I don't foresee any problem technically, and we can definitely have these in India. She wanted me to prepare a document and plan and give it to her directly. I came back, word on the details such as latest plan, the technology, the system design, casting, etc., and handed over the document to her in next few days. She discussed this paper with Shri Anil Bajal, the then Additional Secretary in the Ministry of INB, and handed the documents to him for further action. Myself and Shri Bajal had a few discussions and meetings on different aspects of establishing community radio in the country. The final draft was ready, and it was the draft for Community Radio Act. This draft was put up to the government, and finally the draft was approved as a Community Radio Act in December 2002. So this is how the community radio came here, and the reluctance from the top people in Ministry of INB and All India Radio was they thought that if private radios have come in the form of commercial radio, if community radio comes, there will be higher competition. And in fact, one of my top boss at that time told me that, Dr. Shrivastava, you want to kill All India Radio? I told no, I want to make it more competitive. Only the people who can survive the competition have the ability to live. And if we want to live, we must go through the competition. It would have not come because of the active participation of Sri Anil Bajal, who is Lieutenant Governor of Delhi these days, and late Madam Sushma Swaraj, who was very keen to bring it, and with her effort, there was nothing which could not be achieved. So this is how the community radio came in the country. Now let us see what is a community radio. Community radio is a concept that small FM broadcasting stations with low power can be used to put a localized broadcasting for the benefit of the society and the people. And what it basically has is, this is a real community radio station which was designed, developed by World Development Foundation for Chaudhary Charan Singh Agriculture University, Hisar in Haryana. And it was inaugurated by Honorable Chief Minister Shri Bhupender Singh Hooda. So you will find this is one production studio. Shri Hooda is sitting here for during inauguration. So we have one production studio, one small recording cum transmission studio. When people are speaking here, they can be doing all sorts of programs on farmer or anything that we'll discuss about the programs later on. Then this is recorded here. Or if you want to do live broadcasting, then it can go live using transmitters. This is a 50-watt transmitters. which was also manufactured by World Development Foundation. And then this program goes to a tower and it is broadcasted. This can be received by any receiver. And of course, these days on mobile phones also, there is a provision for FM listening. So it can be listened by mobile phones also. In India, when we did the latest plan and in 2002, then we had thought that only about 4,000 community radio stations could be installed in the country. And for doing that, we have to limit the range of the community radio stations. So a 50-watt transmitter and 30-meter tower. This is the range. This is the total limit of the power and height of the tower. And therefore, it covers in between 10 to 15 kilometers of radial area from the university or whatever place we are putting it. So this is the type of range that is covered. The advantage is put it in Karnataka and put the local language, people will get in their language, put it anywhere, you can do it. So that is the advantage. Whether they are educated, they can read, they can write or not, but they can listen to the program in their own local language. This is why we also, when we train the people, we tell them that it should be the local person. If I start going and talking to them, maybe they will not be very happy listening to my way of talking. But if a local lad, a farmer is coming and talking from the studio, then it makes a real impact. In 2007, I talked to Minister of Communication and IT. It was Media Lab Asia. And Media Lab Asia, I wanted to test this use of community radio in the country. And I wanted them to fund the program. And they funded the program for establishing 5 community radio stations in state agriculture universities in different parts of the country. So with their fund and support, World Development Foundation established 5 community radio stations. One, this is Radio Raipur se CM bol raha hu. So this was done in Raipur, Chhattisgarh. Second was done in Kumarganj, Faizabad, UP, because they wanted 5 linguistic regions to be used for this and see the impact. Third was done in Tamil Nadu Agriculture University, Coimbatore. Fourth was done is Agriculture University, Ranchi, and fifth, of course, we just saw Hisar. So in 5 different linguistic regions, we established the community radio stations and we trained the people. We also developed some content, taught them how to produce the content for the radio journalism, radio broadcasting. And this type of thing was done, established. All were inaugurated by either Chief Minister or Governor, so that more people are able to know about it, and there is a wider coverage and curiosity about the community radio station. So this is how it was done, and this entire job was done by 2009. And after doing this, we went to Ministry of Agriculture. Media Lab Asia and World Development Foundation both approached the Ministry of Agriculture. We had certain discussion there, and we showed the impact that what has happened by installing this community radio station. Have the yield has increased? Are the farmers happy? Are they using some new technology? So survey was done and all the details were taken to the Ministry of Agriculture. Ministry of Agriculture, there were several meetings, and then in the year 2009 itself, they agreed that any agriculture university or KVK who wants to establish the community radio, the entire funding will come from Ministry of Agriculture. The first year, in fact, and I was member of the committee, 80 crores was put for putting the community radio station.